A style of flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.
All right, people, we're back. We're back at it, and we're just here to talk about the game, talk about what transpired. You know, um, all right. You see the gentleman coming in, Mannings. I may tell him Mannings.
I don't know, brother. Man,
Mm.
I come back from injury, coach.
Hmm?
Man, I come back from injury. Sit out on the bench for him club team. And come on in a game when you need point, man.
Oh boy, I tell him, star. Tell him, I 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 tell him.
Some of the logic don't make no sense. You have a player like Junior Fleming that you have been starting, coach.
Mm-hmm.
And a man come into the team and come on over a man who started in the last game.
Who you referring to?
Corey Burke.
Oh yeah. For real.
Corey Burke come into the side. Come on in a game. Having
Having a couple
unfit.
of injury. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Me not understand. Me not understand the coach substitution. The man have the ball and give the man the ball and then tackle the man. It pass. Me not understand.
But Mannings, even though that was a bizarre sort of thing, I don't want to blame him alone, this, because the ball was advanced from where the play was broken up, and after it was advanced, it was taken to the
To the
to
edge
the
of the
edge of the
18.
18, and they swinging across, and after swinging in the cross, the two defenders, Liam Moore right here, um, Damian Lowe right here, and you see where my head there with the headset on my
Yeah.
two side of my head. I saw the two El Salvador players jump and I even try to tackle each other to get a free header.
Every that too,
You understand?
every time Liam Moore is in that box and ball come in the air, he seems to have a problem.
Him no
Either the,
deal with crosses well.
either the communication or something, but this is not the first time. But I blame Corey Burke. Corey Burke was under no pressure whatsoever to lose the ball. He
So
was under
Manning's man, we had an earlier discussion, didn't we, Manning's man,
about what?
about the starting 11
Yes.
and justification for continuing to keep that 11 on the field with people who don't have the legs to play football at this level.
Who was justifying? No, who was justifying it?
Well, you were trying to justify the coach was just keeping continuity, right?
No.
Wasn't that the whole thing?
It was an observation.
Neo and I, no, Cranky, Neo and I were saying, let us give it a reason why the coach should have done this. But we all agree that Hackney wasn't supposed to start.
Yeah. You can't justify it, but you can't justify
I have to
but
come
don't
back in,
agree
coach. I have
with
to come
it.
back in. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
have to come back
that's
in.
what we were really saying, that,
Yeah.
listen, this is why the coach should have done it. But Hackney not supposed to start. He wasn't supposed to start unless him going to play him in a back three. But I'm saying, find him start. He made the right changes because Ravel came on and was passing the ball, which is what we missed all along.
But I think he made the right changes a little too late.
I don't know.
Me think he make it too late. So people want to call in. The number is right
Manning's man, it's
on the
very
screen.
hard. Manning's man is on the phone. You're talking to the coach. Manning's man he's explaining to you why he made those. Why he made that starting guy up. He's trying to give you justification. He can't justify it. We're not buying any justification for that team that he put on the field.
Unfortunately, I try my best to be diplomatic, right? But Tapa, I mean, if we can see this, why can't Tapa see this? How is Tapa gonna put two of these guys out there, Grant He's going to put Grant out there. He's going to put Haka out there. There's nobody to transition the ball. The two of these guys are literally, they're supposed to break up the play. Who's going to pass the ball? And then, unfortunately, Bobby Reed is on the field. And Bobby Reed just looked like a deer in headlights. I'm sorry, Bobby. I really I don't understand, what happened to Bobby Reed tonight. But I mean, again, the vast majority of this result has to be laid at the feet of the coach.
The coach is challenged. So he's very, very challenged. We all have our own teams.
Sorry, coach. I was trying to get one of your guess the link here.
Okay,
so
no problem. Yeah, man. Hold on. A caller coming. We have to try it. Yeah, Jeremy, welcome.
Yes, coach. Good night to the guys and the fans.
Can I hear him?
Yes, we can hear him.
If we get the sound.
So, can you hear me, coach?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously a disappointing result. In many aspects of the game. We went ahead late in the game and should hold on to the lead, and we could not have done that. You get me? Firstly, come on the field, and it looks like these players were out here for 90 plus minutes based on how they were performing.
To the midfield. There's no way we can start Haka and Grant at the same time in the midfield. Speedy and Grant would have been a better option because at the end of the day, they have developed this chemistry to know who goes and who sits. When Grant and Speedy is playing there, Grant knows that he's the one that is supposed to sit. You can notice today, both Grant and Haka are step out on the midfield and they play side and side. You get me? Grant is not sitting and Haka is playing in front. They're playing parallel to each other. So anything that passes to the midfield beats the two of them. And none of them have no legs. No legs. You get me? In the midfield. So from day one we go wrong there. The game then where Grant play perfect in the midfield or do what he needs to do in the midfield, he's the one that sits. You get me? And cover the spaces while Speedy with the legs will roam from side to side in the midfield or go forward. You get me? So, why?
You're there? Hello? Welcome to the coach's desk. You're live.
Okay. My thing is, wait more already. We have the top striker in English Premier League and have him on the bench coming on at the game. Just the presence of Antonio Brown on the field bring two man to him all the time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, man. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Montague. This is Jeremy and Montague.
Okay. Oh, what going on, Montague?
You know me there ain't no party.
Hey, you remember that ball of your people? Under 17 captain for the Jamaica youth team. Big up yourself, my brother.
Big up.
Good there, man.
Good for you, friend, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Whitmore already. We need a coach.
Okay.
We need a coach.
Yeah. You there?
Hang up, coach.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
Yeah, we need a coach. Jamaica need a coach. Because the thing with these caliber players that we have down there, they're supposed to have the better and the coach and all the team.
Yeah.
That's all I'm have to say.
All right. Big up yourself, Jeremy.
We're ready. All right. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. Big up. Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. Gentlemen, Dean Sewell, welcome again, former national player. What say you? The last 45 minutes.
Frustrated again. Want to make the change, we could have seen where Ravel Morrison bring some energy to the game again, bring some touches from the middle of the field, a few combinations here and there. that was starting to look like we had some offensive trust. And once we made the final change, which was Antonio, again, somewhat of a difference maker. Corey Burke was also a difference maker once he came on the field because he had 2 or 3 balls that he drive up the side that end up creating a foul for ourselves. Now, the goal that we got at that point of the game, again, was squandered a chance similar to Mexico, where we could have come away with a point. This time we could have come away with 3 points and we give up again. Goals at the critical part of the game. That goes directly to players' concentration and where they are in the game, the importance of the score at that point, and what we need to do to come away with maximum points or the maximum point that we can get at that point. The caller just made reference to coach, but I'm not going to knock him on this one because we made the changes that subsequently gave us a chance to come away with the required points that we needed. Now, what happened on the goal that we gave up? Lack of defensive responsibility to pick up players and mark. You cannot invite 3, 4, 5, 6 passes around inside the middle of your third with so many players unmarked for us. So many free players for us. And giving them space to move the ball. Subsequently, to the outside, subsequently again, where we give up a goal, which I always say, from across. So, it's so many things that compound this loss of point. I'm not going to say loss of game, but the loss of critical point needed. So, we went from practically being within search, 3 points off, to get to, again, 2 games back. That's critical in our bid. But again, as I say, we came away not worse than when we went there. So if we want to have one positive aspect or one positive outlook, we can say we came away with what we went there with and not less. So that's one positive. And then it can be a mental boost for us going into Jamaica again. Supposed to know can find some offensive trust and know what we want to do in Jamaica.
I think it's easy. I think it's easy to focus on the goal.
We have a caller online who has been waiting. Wayne Evans, go ahead.
Good evening, coach and the panel.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You hearing me, coach?
Yeah, man, we're hearing them, man. Loud and clear. Quick and fast because a lot of calls coming in.
Yes, coach. I just want to say, man, I don't want to see Tapper, Burke, Fisher, and who again? Hacker. Them people are not supposed to be nowhere near the team. Look, when we start look good in the game, as soon as they put on Ravel Morrison, we start move the ball. That's the only time we look like we play football. Yeah. And if it's anybody else, that goal, because they would want to use power, and he just use finesse and just put the ball in the back of the net. Easy. All right, coach, I'm listening. I'm just pissed right now, man. I'm just pissed right now. So I'll just here listening to you guys.
All right, cool. Big up yourself, Wayne. Frankie, go ahead.
Look, I think it's easy to focus on the goal and get perturbed and upset about the goal itself. But I look at the game holistically, not just the goal. And for the first 60 minutes of the game, we're all over the place. Both teams, frankly. But they were more organized than we are. They played shorter passes. They moved the ball better. We didn't move the ball at all. The field was wide open. Haka and Grant can't run. Now, Grant, when you look at Grant's stats, he's always full up the stat sheet between fouls, tackles, headers. Haka doesn't pull up any stat sheet. So how you can have 2 people in the midfield, you're playing away from home. I know you want to play low block defensive and probably hit on the counter. But our forwards weren't getting any ball because Reed hasn't played well for the entirety. I watched him at the Gold Cup in Orlando. He hasn't played well at all. Never played well. He's not a number 10. he was playing out wide. He was playing the 10. Roof was playing the 10. I'm not sure who was playing where. So it was it's not the best look when you have a team on the field where you're supposed to. And by the way, the coach put his trust in these players, right? But his trust in, especially the locally developed players. That's where his trust is. Now, some players played okay. There were no standouts. When people just say when Marcy came in. When Speedy came in, because Speedy doesn't get the credit he should get. Defensively, he's not the best at it. But in terms of keeping the ball, moving the ball from side to side, playing the ball long with accuracy, he plays well. We had much more mobility in the midfield when he and Morrissey came on, which we lacked in the first half. We had much more continuity of play. We had much more ball possession. Why a coach can't see that? And I know the local Jamaican community, especially coaches and sometimes ex-players, don't want to blame the coach. But in most situations, the manager get praise when they do well, and they get the blame when they do poorly. And we all challenge and question the starting line that was put out there, including Haka, who I keep repeating his stats. 4 of 7 in a 90-minute ball game in the last game doesn't warrant a start. Bailey, for example, and I asked the question at the inception of this, why should Bailey play versus Antonio? Bailey hasn't done anything for the national team, nor has he played well in his last game for Villa, and he's been injured. So why would he play instead of Morrison or play instead of Antonio, for example? We say Antonio's injured, but if he's injured, he shouldn't be on the bench. He should not be on the bench. He should be watching like how we're watching. If he's fit, you play the player until he's exhausted, and you take him off the field. So I'm not going to look at the one goal and say Burt made a mistake. Yes, he could have kicked the ball down the field or do something with it. Look at the entirety of the game, because this shouldn't be a close game. The team we played is probably the worst team. They're not as good as Honduras, frankly, even though Honduras was the bottom of the table. And they haven't played well. It should not be a close game. And the one person who's primarily responsible is the person who puts his trust in certain players who, to me, don't have the quality. Stop talking about other things. They don't have the quality, perform at the level we need them to. And that's why we are where we are in the table. And if I sound upset, I really am, because I was hoping we'd hold on for the 1-0 lead. But I still think it would have masked what I'm seeing, which is we're not at the level of Canada, we're not at the level of the United States or Mexico or even, frankly, Panama. Unless we play the best players, we're gonna still struggle.
All right, Cranky, there you go. We have a caller online. Caller, go ahead, quickly.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna make this sharp, man. As I may say now, last goal score, I just like a concentration. Because first thing, start off the game with a poor attitude. Shouldn't have 2 defensive midfielders.
Right.
Aga and Grant shouldn't have play side and side. That's why I say, I'm telling her 30 last time I did call it, say, oh, good partnership.
Yeah.
Williams grew in a league, grew in a World Cup qualifying, and I play good enough. Williams look good. So you should not mash up that partnership, Williams and Grant. So Williams and Grant.
Yeah.
Sometimes, one of them, when I see people like Bash, sometimes I always allow him or stuff, but today right now, Fisher not deserve back again. Aga, him can't wait bench.
All right.
We should have to better. We shouldn't let that score to territory. We should have went defend better. And just that I might take on the game still. But goal Antonio score Premier League quality.
Yeah, man. Big goal, man.
Half-line. He might tell you come from him look funny again. When his body bounce to you.
Yeah.
And Chippy was like, good run. And the normal, I can't see him do that. One time, I can't get a chance in our back to show. It's him a spin like I did. I can't get a chance to score, so I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, man. All right, big up yourself. We have a cut that one.
I get the 3 points. I will just concentrate. So that's my take for the match.
All right, big up yourself, coach. Yeah, man. All right. Manners and respect.
So, Coach, I hear someone in the chat, Coach, saying, I don't like Bailey. I love any player who produces. And I don't dislike any player. I call it like I see it. I asked at the outset of this program whether, given the criteria being utilized, should Bailey start versus Antonio? Because we are saying Antonio was injured or Antonio didn't play with the Panama game. And my view is, I believe in equity in life. I believe in being fair. I believe in using the same criteria and judge everyone the same way. Don't use different criteria for different players because they may not come from where you come from, or you don't value their game, or you don't value them as people. That's not how to view life. Treat people like you want to be treated and treat people fairly. I didn't think certain players were being treated fairly. And as I've said before, I watched Bailey in Orlando very closely, up close. He's playing right in front of me. He's a very good player, but he hasn't produced for the national team. And my view, why should he start over? People talk about Antonio in the Panama game, for example, which we didn't have any CDM. We didn't have any midfielder to protect our defense. It was a disorganized setup. It wasn't well organized. That's why it resulted the way it was. But if someone who plays in the highest league in the world and produce week in, week out, where they score goals, hold up play, get between the lines, bully the defender, why would you think he'd be able to compete at this level against this quite of opponents, which is not the same at the level he plays at continuously currently? Now, is Bailey a good player? Yes, he's a very good player, but he hasn't produced, and he's been injured. And today, I'd like to give him a grade on his performance. We should grade the players, frankly, how they perform.
Yeah, man, we soon do that. But let me read these 2 super chats. A whole lot of things happening, people. People them want to talk, them just want share them thoughts. Joe Grant is saying quality pools of players, but Tapa keep picking his friends. Aka Fisher Burke. Guys, don't run up on the blood pressure. Focus on World Cup 2026. Tapa out. And then we have one from Lulu Cranky. If Ravel don't start next game, Tapa deserves a beating. And we have a caller from New York online. Go ahead, caller, quickly.
Yeah, man, my heart is broken, man. I tell you, I swear, man, it's one thing I know. Nobody has defeated Father Time. And I said it in the chat earlier. I said, playing Haka is going to cost us. All right? And he broke down in the middle of the game. I don't know why we both keep forcing that. I see America play Mexico tonight because I was watching both games simultaneously. And I'm telling you, United States is going to embarrass us. These guys are fit like students and they're all young men. They run the whole 90 minutes. Mexico didn't have an answer for these guys. And Mexico's a tough team. You understand me? I don't know what kind of primitive football we playing or what kind of, why we can't get a decent coach. The man is a straight done. The man, listen, man, I'm so frustrated. Man. I mean, listen, man, I've been watching Jamaica football since I was in the RFK club in 1997 when Dan Burton leaked one past US. You know, see, so we go forward to the World Cup 98. I've been watching Jamaica football since 1974 with Alan Simple and all of them people. I don't know what's going on with our football. Why we can't get an intelligent coach we can't think outside the box? What kind of stupid midfield that we put out here? A 74-year-old man, Haka. The man never broke them. Nobody has defeated Father Time. Not even LeBron James. And LeBron James have brought them. Father Time is always going to win. We need young men in the midfield, and we're not developing players. I don't know what we're doing, man. You put a little rubber stamping. No, it's not gonna work. The rubber stamping is not gonna work. The little band-aid cannot work. We have to do the football the right way. We're not doing it, and we need a proper coach. This man is done. I could have picked a team tonight, and we go out and get a result. I told them that team have to get at least 2 to 3. The man them control the midfield totally. Them probably have 10% of the possession. What are we doing? What are we doing? Listen, man, which one need to go, man? Which one need to go? Give me the creative man in the midfield. Or you going to start 3 man with a creative in the midfield and 2 of them a whole man. Okay, that's What's up? What football and start with my blood pressure as a breaking.
All right, caller. Nobody heard of the
Said like a true New Yorker.
Nobody
Coach, honestly, my blood pressure gone up. And it just coming like we're under bandage. Because we can't get rid of Tapa. We can't get rid of GFF. And we just there under bandage. We're in bandage from nostalgia. In bandage from the coach. Poor management. And we have players out there who are quality players, but we cannot organize the team. We play worse than a schoolboy football team. That's what it looked to me. Pure sky ball. We can't make more than 4 passes. Right? Giving away the ball. Lack of concentration. We're not competing with the team. competing on the ball. Listen, the only good thing I can say is, as Mr. Sewell said, we came away with a point, and maybe since the USA beat Mexico, maybe they'll go on vacation and send their seaside to Jamaica. Although from past experience, even the USA seaside can beat us.
That's not going to be enough. Hey, coach. Yeah, remember Macaulay before the game start, and can you guys hear me? Remember Macaulay before the game start, and the previous caller, somebody that run up my blood pressure. I mean, I say, yo, if them not win the match, I don't know it's football. I can't take that blood pressure thing. You know what was the dagger in Jamaica's heart tonight? Panama. Nobody in this competition wants to see Panama right now. We could beat USA as much as we want. We are not catching Panama. Nobody wants to see Panama right now based on that game there where Panama just pull off. Based on that win that Panama just pull off. Nobody wants to see Panama right now. And that's the dagger in Jamaica's heart tonight.
I think if Jamaica had a really good administration, who was well organized, well funded, select the right people in the right positions to execute this, have a strategy and execute the strategy, given the litany of players that we have that we can select from, our sourcing has been atrocious. The way we have constructed what we're doing has been atrocious. And it manifests itself on the field in terms of decision making. And we get the outcome, which frankly, we may deserve given how we have operated. So we shouldn't be shocked about some of these things. I haven't seen, and I watch a lot of YouTube channels, maybe because I have time on my hand in the evening. I don't watch TV that much anymore, but I must say this, which is, I haven't seen anybody pick a team that Whitmore picked tonight. No one. Most people had very similar teams because they believe, first of all, I agree that you can't always pick your best player sometimes. You want chemistry. It's very difficult to get chemistry in international football. And the coach got fooled by the fact that he has a positive outcome in the last run in one game and believed that that was the elixir and that was a cure for all ills going forward. And you can hear the venom that's coming his way because people were not appreciative of the decisions he made about who he selected. And frankly, the way we played tonight was hard to watch. And Neil, you were disrespecting high school footballers like Casey and Georges to say they don't put the ball on the ground and play 1-2, because I watch them play sometimes remotely, and they actually put the ball sometimes up field and they play 1-2 and they play between the lines and try to get behind the defense. Tonight, we were a shambles.
So it was embarrassing.
Hold on, let me hear from the caller here. Look at
Kanki, only Casey and George that football team. What am the stats?
I went to Casey, even not talk about nobody else. Talk about North Street people, them, no care about the other people. Them.
Hold on, gentlemen, hold on. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah.
You have to speak up in a caller.
As I said, stay there with more.
That person they're gone.
I want to say something.
If I must say something, I am not going to blame the coach right now. And the reason why I'm not going to blame the coach right now, the coach made some changes in and about 70 minutes, 65 to 70 minutes. Change the whole perspective of the game. We get a goal, and when we get the goal, we're still chasing the game like we are not leading the game. While we play with 89 minutes, the second time in these qualifiers we give up a goal in the 89 minutes. Against Mexico, we get to come out of Mexico with a 1-1 draw. And now against El Salvador to come out with a 1-0 victory. it boils down to game management. The coach is not playing the game. The players should be intelligent enough and know that they need not to play the ball in the middle of the park and chase the game. What happened to the sideline? What happened to the bringing the ball down into the corner flag and kill time after the clock? You know, this boils down to a lapse in concentration of the team and people and their defensive responsibilities. I am not going to blame the coach, regardless of the coach shortcomings in previous games or wherever. But this one, the players need to take responsibility for this one, for the lapse in concentration.
So Devon, I'm gonna say something.
The man burned down the house for 70 minutes.
No, I gotta say something. No. Devon. First of all, you're making my head hurt. And here's why you're making my head hurt, Devon. So you said he made change in the 65th minute and onwards, which were effective. Antonio scored. What happened to the previous 65 minutes? What do you think would have happened if he had the best players on the field?
We are not talking about.
We wasted 65 minutes, Devon.
We are not talking about the first 65 minutes because it's neither here nor there.
Devon,
we got the goal. Cranky, you're a footballer. Then you're a World Cup player. We got the goal at the appointed time, at the right time to see the game out. Okay?
Devon, I don't disagree with you. Devon, we made changes at halftime. We made no changes at halftime.
Hold on. What could have happened in the first 65 minutes did not happen. So it does not factor right now into the game. Talk about after the goal, what we did Devon, after the goal.
Devon, that's why I don't like people saying that, which is everything matters, Devon. The misconception is, you know what? Let's focus on the last 2 minutes of the game when the goal was given up. The game is played for 90 minutes.
So it's a probability. It's a probability. So probably we would have scored 3 goals in the first 65th minute.
Exactly.
It's a probability.
What's the probability they wouldn't have scored in the 88 minutes they
scored? he burned down the house for 65 minutes. Forget about that.
All right, gentlemen. Mr. Dean Swell. I called in, but him can't wait. So I'm saying for ask a question. Why the former players them like to defend the coach so much? And what are the former players doing to help him develop him into a better player?
If anyone knows me and my views, right? I already said way long time, Theodore, it is a bit above his head. And his selection
way above his head.
And his selection has been questionable, to say the least. So I'm not in defense of the coach. My point always is, at certain point, players must take responsibility.
Absolutely, Dean. Absolutely.
What the coach does at the start, that's what is out there. We have to work with that. When he makes the change, we have to now work with that. So we can break down the game in sectors and say, okay, we make, let me say, the quality has been poor, and we talked about that at the halftime break. Now, I'd said we need to make a few changes. Antonio in, Ravel Morris in, get Speedy Williams in, right? Stuff like that, where we can change the dynamic of our midfield, where we can change the game in its outlook and how we're going to press for a goal. Coach made mention about Leon Bailey. Yes, remember I said, take him from the right, put him to the left. That happened. Now, once Antonio came in, wherever he came in the game, you could see where a difference is possible, right? Now, we get a goal based on, again, a counter. Antonio forward prowess, his composure, his ability to finish in a space. We get that goal. Now, going towards the end of the game, we have to keep our concentration and know at that point what we have is what we need to go home with. So we can't then lose focus and concentration. At that point, I can't give the coach. At that point of the game, every other section we can break down from the selection of the team. We can break that down and give him all that. Then we have to go beyond the halfway point and structurally talk about what happened or what transpired with the changes that affected the game to some degree or to a great degree. We get a goal, now what transpired after we get the goal. These are things that we have to look at. And we have to say, at that point, it's the players' concentration that is going to be key to carry out their defensive responsibility to make sure, especially if you invite the team deep within your half, to move the ball. You have to pick up, again, free man on the outside, free cross in. And they almost got a second one, which we totally missing up. They almost got a second goal from a cross from the left side.
Yeah.
And consistently now, what we recognize is we are poor at defending crosses. The goals that we are giving up are coming all from crosses.
Absolutely correct.
So these are the things that we have to address. We're not absolving the coach at all from his responsibility to give us the best chance to win with the quality of players we have. But then again, we have quality players that are professionals that should understand the responsibility at certain points of the game. If we cannot manage that, whether as a coaching staff or as players, we are in for trouble. And as the coach rightfully said, the result we get is probably a direct replica from what we've been doing from administratively come all the way down. And we're going to run up. You see, and that is the problem. We have to watch the game objectively, even though we are invested as a coach or as a fan to the country. We have to watch the game objectively to critique objectively.
So, Coach,
Yeah,
good night, Coach. Good night, the panelists. Bye.
Good night.
I'm a depressed one. Lots to say. Watch the game at my usual spot, Kingston Jerk. And the truth be told, the way in which people just uninterested in the Reggae Boyz is alarming to me. The place was packed when the match started. The people in just cut. But outside of that, I just want to say there's a lot of lessons and a lot of things to be said in this thing, right? First of all, congratulations to Mikel Antonio. We haven't seen a real top world-class striker. I mean, the little crowd that was there would just erupt when the man bear down on El Salvador and took on two defenders, turned on the afterburners, and cool as a cucumber, just finish. Not blast the ball over, nothing. That was a moment to savor.
Excellence,
right?
yeah.
And then the question that everyone is asking, what the hell is this, man? I tell you what somebody said. I said it. It's like Jamaica get a winning lottery ticket and decide we're now going to cash it in. I've said this before. I don't know. Our whole campaign is upended because we are now 4 points off the pace where we should have 5 points off the pace, I think, where we should have been within 3 points striking distance of Panama in the 4th spot. I will start and take it from where I think Grant Tade is the worst game I've seen him play for Jamaica in the middle of the park. He didn't have his regular partner in central midfield that he enjoys playing with, which was Speedy. And I can't understand, if you're talking about team chemistry, we break up a budding central midfield partnership that started in Mexico and just break it up for no apparent reason. Maybe Dean the things that we have been saying on this panel remain the same. Kemar Roof is not a central attacking midfielder. He is not in any way, shape, or form. Bobby Reed does not perform for Jamaica. So the funny thing is, Bobby Reed plays on the most times in the cam position for Fulham or on the right wing. We take Bobby and put him on the left wing. Bailey plays for the left wing for Aston Villa, and we take him and put him on the right wing. On the side where we knew the two strongest players for El Salvador. I said it before. You can watch my Reggae Boyz commentary. I said it here, coach, when we had the little preview show. Roldan and Hernandez, the left winger and the left back, are the two strongest players. It's Roldan who scored. If you've been watching CONCACAF football, we would know this. So it's 2 points dropped, and now the campaign, we have to win against America at home. That's just the bottom line. 2 points won't cut it from the window. And we had Mikel Antonio sitting on the bench. I want to say this. I put my God bust my head. We would have been 2 or 3 up by halftime if Antonio had started, because El Salvador offered nothing to us, or we offered nothing offensively to El Salvador with the front line that we picked. We for the first 45 minutes, we were not an offensive threat at all. In a game of cat and mouse, is who blinked first. And El Salvador, in the first half, if you recall, when El Salvador hit the bar, is it 2 or 3 times? From
Twice.
one play, and then there was a third. Then there was a third shot that may have been off target. So we should have gone in halftime behind, right? I say I go hold up my hand for my player. Dean Sewell said we invested in it, so everybody knows that Anthony Grant, I'm a family. Yeah. It's the worst game he's played for Jamaica. But I also saw that he was being played out of the game by Lowe, who just kept bypassing him. He kept asking for the ball. Why were we not seeking to play the ball through our central defensive midfielders and progress into the attacking third? So it was a moment of brilliance from Antonio, but the truth of the matter is it was a poor game of football, very poor game of football. All of those, I want to see them, because some man chat big before, coach. And when you see them after the game, they not talk. Who did I tell me how great O'Neal Fisher is? I open and see how bad of a right back Fisher is. How his mistakes are potentially costly to Jamaica, because he gave away the ball, and I don't know how El Salvador no score except for the mercy of God. Right? They just lived down that flank over and over again, and he was exposed. His touch is bad. We got one last attack in I think the last minute, and the ball in the build-up, it got to him, and he overran the ball instead of being able to make a simple pass. So all the O'Neal Fisher giddy-headed people, go on. Those who ball occur, I just joined, coach. I hope you show your face and tell me now about Boza. Because this will be the 4th game now with not one shot on target. And I've said to you, Shamar Nicholson is a player who needs development. He has some of the ingredients. He's not the finished product. And the overhyped business and the hype man thing now gonna work when you develop. Mikel Antonio is the finished product. And I leave it there. So we can, the goal, I hope Damian Lowe can talk a lot. I hope both he and Leon Moore can explain why they're stuck to the ground. But this is not the first time that a goal score when our defenders are stuck flat-footed, like them have cement in them boot, and the opposition attacker outjump them.
I think look, everyone's focused on the goal. I don't necessarily focus on just one play during the game. I focus on the entirety of the game. I think the goal, if you look at the goal we scored, everyone is looking for someone else to go attack the ball. And I'm not sure where Moore was playing when he came on. So you took off Bailey, put on Moore. Where was Moore playing? Is he one of three centre half? Who was he? So you don't know what position you're playing. So everyone thinks someone should go attack the ball, and no one attacked the ball. And the player was coming from deeper. It wasn't as if they were all standing in the box. The player was coming from deeper. So he had a running start to get to the ball. You have to attack the ball in the box. Somebody has to make a commitment. No one did. But I think it's much more. Look, I heard Ketterer talk about Fisher. When you're playing on the right back or left back, in today's football, you have to have help. And people in the chat are saying, I don't like Bailey, and this is about Bailey. I call out players who are not producing. He wasn't helping Fisher throughout the entire game. At least when Reed plays, he supports. When he played with Fisher the last game, when he plays football, even though he's not playing well, at least he does his defensive duties. So if you're not doing your defensive duties, you must be doing something exceptional offensively to be given the ability to just play offensively. And people are saying he played well tonight. Maybe I need to go rewatch the game because I wasn't seeing it. So maybe I need to go rewatch the game because I thought he did little or nothing in that game. Now, the whole team didn't play well on both sides. So you don't blame individual players. But I do think you have to take time on it. When you're a coach, you're supposed to do a couple of things. One is assess the team holistically, or the entire team play, chemistry-wise, how it plays, but also individual players and how they also play. So when you have halftime speech, the first thing you talk about is how we're playing. Are we deploying the strategy that we're supposed to be employing? And then you talk about individually what the keeper is doing, what right and left back is doing.
Cranky, we're not hear you.
Yeah, we're not here, Cranky. Cranky, we're
Sorry,
not hearing you.
I mute myself, which was maybe a good thing.
Okay.
But Cranky.
But my concern was this, which is we saw when Ravel, and people got to give Speedy credit. I know Speedy's not the best defensive player, but at least Speedy's moving the ball. At least Speedy's passing the ball to his own player. At least Speedy have legs.
And
Grant
smart.
today was atrocious, and so was Haka. Both of them.
Smart.
Hold on,
Cranky, I hear you say one thing. When Tapper made that change
hold on,
and put more on.
Devon, hold on. Let me read them super chat because the people them. Lulu is saying a blind man can see that Ravel should start. He's our best creative midfielder as well. Antonio should start. He's our best forward. Pure foolishness. And another one from Robert Gray. You all forget fresh starters needed for the USA game. We're gonna hear from
Coach. Can I take that one, Coach? Which is this, guys?
No,
we have to win. We have to win the winnable games. This was a game we should be winning. US is a harder game. You gotta get the 3 points.
Yeah, so we're gonna hear from Devon, followed by Dean, because I hear those voices.
Cranky, you said when Liam comes on, you don't know where he was playing. It was a tactical change by the coach. Now, Liam Moore, as a central defender, must realize, because I'm pretty much sure the coach gave him instruction, he is not like for like, because he's not a winger. And obviously the shape is going to change from what he had before. So he's going to drop into his defensive position and pick up his defensive role. Bowser, as a striker, gonna drop in the middle of the park, so it becomes 5-4-1. You're trying to see the game out. It is not rocket science. It is just football and common sense and football knowledge.
Devon, when you make a change,
so the players listen.
No, Devon, let me just say this. Devon, let me say this. When you make a play defensively, you have to tell about what that shape is gonna be, what the player is gonna play. Mariappa is playing center half with low. Are we playing 3-5-2? What were we playing? I have no idea where Moore is playing. Is he playing on the left? Is he playing on the right? Is he playing in the middle? I have no idea.
Well, the coach, you and I can assume that. The coach give him that instruction.
Devon.
So he probably wasn't in his...
Devon, let me just say one thing. For the football that I watched, when I just adjust that point. When you have a tactical change right at the end of the game, right? I'll make 2 quick points. I always see when players come on, they go and they pass on the instruction that the coach has given them. So we have no evidence that any instruction was given, because when Moore came on the field, I saw no communication to anybody about anything to do. It
But
was.
but
Coach,
Cataract,
So
Let me
Cataract.
finish.
whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
coach,
Coach, I do not know. I said we have no evidence.
or
I
maybe
saw no instruction being
coach,
passed.
All right,
coach,
Cataract. All right, Dean.
Hold on,
Dean, I
hold
want
on,
to address this for me, Dean.
coach.
Yes,
No.
yes,
I
money.
want Dean address this for me,
hold on.
Dean.
Devon, let me finish. I just
You as a coach, Dean. Listen
Hold
to
on,
me.
me I
You
go,
as
me
a
I go
coach,
start,
Dean.
Let Chatter finish this point.
me I go start muting, gentlemen. Make it things sound more better than how it sound, man. Please, one
Coach,
person at a time.
I was asked to just finish the 2 quick points I was making, which were directly related, and then Devon can address it. I'm saying, I saw, I don't know if anybody else saw, no communication from Leon Moore when he came on to the other players about a change in shape, a change in tactic, which I normally see when tactical changes are made. I see players saying, I don't know what it means. Dean had never played the game, but I always see man has said, and then
Right.
everything falls into place. I did not see that. What I saw is Billa vibes. A man just come on the field and the thing's supposed to build. And the last point I'm making, which Devon, you have to take on board, is that this is about the second time or nearly third time that Tapas makes a change near the end of the game, and right after, within a minute or two, a goal goes in. It happened against Mexico, I'm certain, and it has happened again tonight. So address that, please.
And I already addressed it. It's lapse of concentration of the players. No, it's common sense in football. If I am going to put a central defender on, I have 2 central defender. I'm employing a formation. I have 2 central defender in already. I'm leading 1-0 in the 88th minute. I'm leading 1-0 in the 88th minute. My tactical change is that I'm beefing up my defense. So I'm going to employ 3 central defender, 2 wing backs. One of my forward is going to drop in the middle of the park, and I'm going to defend as 5-4-1. It is common sense. Okay? It's not a like for like change. You're putting on a defender. So it's common sense. And I would like Dean to reiterate on that, because he is a national player.
Hold on, coach. Let me just say, because the first may I say anything from we start, Listen patiently, all right? So let me just say this. So Tapa selected the wrong thing in our opinion. He made the wrong moves, and many of us had different team selection. All right? So we're going to put that on him. That is his fault. If he had followed what all of us have said, Antonio would have scored 3, possibly by the time we get to halftime, and would have probably given El Salvador like 6. So Tapa is wrong for that.
It's a probability.
No, man. What would have happened is that if he had started a team that we the fans selected, would have been up by 5.
No,
all right?
You're trying to be sarcastic, man.
Brother, let me finish my point, no, man.
Make him finish.
All right, go ahead.
Mannings, finish.
So 5. All right. So just follow the point. So, bam, he never did that. So he has to take responsibility for all of that. So we have a 1-0 lead in the game. By this time, Haka is off the field, Grant is off the field, right? So they're not to be blamed for the goal. Them playing or starting ought not to be blamed at this point. Because now we're going to talk about the concession of the goal, given that we had few minutes left. What happened? Most of us, given what was happening, would have made a defensive change. In other words, you have because the fourth official never put up the time. So we're assuming the commentary was asking what time is left. So 4 changes left. He brings on Liam Moore. Liam Moore goes into a back three. O'Neal Fisher goes up because Leon Bailey is the one who comes off the field. O'Neal Fisher. So I saw that. Corey Burke lose. I counted them. We can write them down. We can tell you the time. Lose 18 of the 20 balls that he got on the field, including the one that led to the goal. Where I blame Tapper is this. How Corey Burke, coming off an injury, comes in to get time over Junior Fleming, who you started in your last game. What is the logic behind that? I am saying that if I want someone to come on that side, the last game I started someone. So why would you bring on a person who was not in the last set of games, who was out injured, who has not played for his club, into the game? You did it, him lose the ball. He loses the ball when the square is coming in. Nobody goes out to block the square. He comes back inside. Kemar Lawrence come inside, and Speedy was already inside. The same problem that we had in Panama, when that ball comes in, who is leading Jamaica's defense? And I think this is where Tapper has to be blamed. And this is where I agree with Dean. Obviously, there is a communication issue because when the goal was scored, Mariappa had gone to the right, Liam Morris playing left side of the back three, and Lowe is inside. All the way throughout the game, it was Adrian Mariappa playing centrally and giving the instructions. The problem is that the leadership had gone to the right, so the communication breakdown. And that is what I think Tapper need to take place for. Why did you move Mariappa to the right and move the leader who would have been in there talking? Because obviously Lowe don't talk in the defense.
All right. Continue. I thought you were finished.
And I think that is why he and Liam were, because none of them were communicating. So this is where I blame Tapper for moving Mariappa from the center of the defense to the right of the defense and making Lowe the leader, because anybody who's going to play centrally is the leader. Now, did he have a good game? He did some good things in the game, but I'm talking about this moment. In this moment, Burke was wrong. In this moment, the leader of the defense wasn't communicating. And I blame the players, but I agree with them on them that the coach, the selection of the team, the coach must take responsibility. It would have not have been 5. I was just using that to make a point. But if we would have seen probably some different things if we had changed the dynamics like we have suggested. But if we look at the moment, that moment was caused by a lack of leadership on the field.
All right. Well said, Munnins. Jeremy and Allen super chat. He went on to play CB. Mariappa went right back and Fisher went right wing. The instructions was given. I thought instructions were given based on the movement of those players. Absolutely. Jason Pinnock would have cleared that. I believe so too. Before we hear from Dean again, I think we're really having an issue. So here's where I blame both parties involved. The players obviously showing a lack of concentration to the very end. Right? Obviously, that is obvious. The coach, in an interview, he alluded to that. My question is that it is still happening in games. What has he done to minimize that issue being brought up again? That is my problem. So I'm going to blame the players for always lapsing in concentration, and then the coach has to take some bulk of the blame. What have you done in regards to allowing the players to, concentrate a little bit more so that they can finish off games? Like Dean said, in Mexico, we could have gotten a point. In this game, we could have gotten all 3, and we gave away 2. Go ahead, Dean.
All right. The game is a collective game, you know, and we have to look. We can look at the end product, but on the goal itself that we gave up, where were the problems? Too much free El Salvador player above our defenders to move the ball side to side to eventually get the ball to the outside. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
At that point, where we were, and we have numbers, because we can't deny the fact that we had numbers behind the ball. So if we have 8 to their 5, we can go man to man. We can go man to man and force them back, right? And have coverage. Also, crosses is actually commitment by any defensive player. It doesn't have to be the center back, the right back, midfield. It is that a commitment by any defensive player to go and get the ball by all means necessary. You can't say, it's better 3 hours go and crash and get rid of the ball than none hours go and the ball get loose and somebody get the bed on it and it end up in that case. It's a well-taken goal as well. It's a well-taken cross as well. So we have to look at the game in its entirety, right? And with regards to who's that, Shatter? You say you didn't see, but once I didn't see him making a gesture, more. But once he went in, you saw him, he ran straight down the middle of the park. That means, to me, him get it. Well, that change is a change to kind of shore up your defensive strategy at that point of the game. But I can't, for the life of me, understand how we at that level with this kind of professional set of players that we have lose the concentration. And if we go all the way back in time in any football game, what are the critical points goals are given up or goals are scored? Within first 5 to 10 minutes of the half, same thing. Last 5 before the half finish. First 5, second half start. Last 5 when the game about to finish. And or just as a team score, which is what we did, we tend to drop guard, the team come right back. These are critical points you have to look at. So when you get a goal, it is not to keep in a celebration mode, but is to refocus on the task at hand to complete the job that we have. And I believe that's where we lack.
So I do take onus to the fact people are saying the players lack concentration. I think when you make a defensive change, as you said, it means it's showing up your defense. I don't think it was a concentration issue. I think it was an execution issue. So if I'm concentrating well, but I don't execute based on instructions provided, then I'm going to have poor outcome. I don't think it was concentration. They were in good position. They were playing like more zone. So they weren't playing man-to-man marking. 3 El Salvador players were coming from deeper. And they were attacking the ball. The cross didn't have a lot of flight on it.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to get to the ball.
I love sell-ups, man. I love sell-ups in concentration.
I know, coach. It's execution, coach. Sometimes you focus enough. But if you don't execute well, you're going to have bad outcome.
But if you're not concentrating, you will be stuck to the ground, and that's what caused them not to challenge the players.
No, coach.
No, all could be true.
As Dean said, it was a well-executed goal. The ball was pretty flat in it. It wasn't like a lob that ball come over. You have time to react. You didn't have a lot of time to react.
The execution factor can be true. The focus and concentration can be true. All factors can be true at the same time.
Yeah, I think they had a heightened sense when it was late in the game, especially given the change was made. When you made the change, you're saying, you know what, guys, let's shore up, let's beef up. We have to get this done. Let's go to the line. That was the initial objective, and that was what we're trying to do. But when you're attacking, when you have the ball, you sort of relax, right? We had the ball, Corey had the ball, then he lost the ball. Then you're scrambling now to recover. The cross came in pretty quickly. They attacked the ball. We were planted.
If we can go by recollection of that final goal that we gave up, even after Corey Burke lost the ball, they made quite a few passes in a row.
Yes, they made a few passes. Yes.
The middle third. So
Thank you.
At that point, him losing the ball is now secondary to the job at hand. It is a factor.
Exactly.
But Dean is out of the play, Dean. He's out of the play.
No, I understand. I said it is a factor.
Yeah.
But remember,
it can't be primary.
We lose the ball just like on every other position. When we lose possession, we have to get ourselves back in defensive shape. We have to get ourselves back with our defensive responsibility as a player and as a team. So if the team then makes 10, 12 passes after I lose the ball, is that absolving me from the responsibility of me losing the ball? But now defensively as a team, that is why we are a team. I have to help you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dean, but Dean, here's a point, Dean. Here's a point, which is this. When you provide more defense, I feel more relaxed. Not that I'm not concentrating, because I think I have more help, right? So then I may not have the same push to go get it because, you know what, I have 3 other people around me. One of us is going to go get it.
There you go. So to your point now, because we have more defense, right, and you relax now, that is the concentration lapse. For you to relax in a game at that critical point. That is why all can be true.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, man, exactly.
So, coach,
once you know, as the offensive player relaxes because you believe you have defensive assurances, that's your concentration lapse, which possibly leaves a player that you would generally track to flow right through the line, which generally can create problem for your defenders because the incoming runner is more dangerous when the defender is on its back heel.
So, Coach Dean, just to verify, just so maybe you don't know, Shatter is a robot. This is Cataract, a real live human being.
All right, Cataract,
right?
Cataract.
But no Shatter is a robot. Run by artificial.
Because you might be.
No, you're all with that. And the big sound Cataract this from way back when.
All right, no problem.
But Cataract with a K.
All right.
I hear what you said, but
Cataract, pause a minute. Let me read this super chat. Joe Grant, big up yourself. I blame Aka for picking up the phone when Tapa called him to join the squad. Go ahead, Cataract.
I can't blame Aka for that. Listen, you said that I've heard quotes say poor preparation is preparing to fail. Right? Or poor preparation leads to poor performance.
Well, poor preparation prevents poor performance.
Prepare to fail.
Right. So
yes.
We need to go back to the root of the problem. Let me tell you about the root of the problem, my friend. There is a division in the team in Jamaican football between English-born players and Jamaican-born players, which means we do not select the best combination of players. Ethan Pinnock, who we are one central defender short, who should have been added to the team or be a part of this team, is the kind of defense centre back you could have brought on to command. He's commanding on crosses. I watch Brentford every chance that I get on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Monday. And he's a commanding defender, big man mounted, 6'4", and that's what we needed in the box there. He's great at aerial duels. Number 2, Jamal Lowe came in the last window, could only play 2 games based on the agreement that the GFF had with his club. And he gave a good account of himself. He is inexplicably dropped from consideration. And we call up, this is after scoring for his club in this window. And we call up Corey Burke, who hasn't played and who is coming off of an injury. So I don't even really blame Corey Burke because Corey Burke just did what Corey Burke always does. So it's from team selection that this was always going to be a problem. Always going to be a problem. Now, any team, I support Leeds United, and we felt the wrath of Mikel Antonio in the 80-something minute. He is a devastating forward in the last 10 minutes of a game. When people are trying to catch them breath, he will make you pay for it. No. I don't know when they said the instructions were given. I just see someone just moving and play something because I don't even know, man. But Earth, the passage of play, there was nobody in the midfield. We had the two players. Somebody said it in the chat, so I'm going to put it in my own words. Grant Hacker is supposed to be the replacement for Grant. That was what we were told. When we need to add some steel in the last 5 minutes or so of the game, when we need to lock down the game, bring on Hacker. That's what we were told. All of a sudden now, Hacker is a starter. So the man who's supposed to replace the man is now starting with the man. And our central midfield combined is 72 years old. Trouble. Then the two of them come off, and there's no CDM.
So that's the question I've been struggling with the whole night. Like, okay, so we started 2 CDMs and then we substitute them both. So if we didn't have the confidence to start with a single pivot.
One was hold on, 1 second, Sean. One was an injury. Right? I'm supposing he was not able to continue. Hacker wasn't able to continue. Right.
So
all right, another Sean, another super chat. Christopher Wang, big up yourself. We need to start petition to get rid of Ricketts and then fire Tapper. All right, go ahead, Sean.
Who came off first, Grant or Hacker?
Hacker couldn't continue.
All right, Hacker came off first.
Continue. No mass.
Hacker came off first. Threw in the toil because I wasn't sure if anyway. No mas.
Roberto Duran, those who know the boxing game. No mas.
Guys, I would knock Hacker. Look, I knock Hacker because I don't think he should play, but I'm not knocking Hacker because he tried his best. Hacker don't pick himself. Hacker doesn't
give me
pick
1
himself
second.
to play. But I'm just saying we're making fun of Hacker, but he didn't pick himself.
No, I mean,
we're not making fun of him.
No.
The player said no more. He said no more.
So we went from starting with 2 CDMs to Hacker coming off, okay, and then we substituted Grant off the pitch as well. So essentially, we went from being ultra defensive with 2 older players who shouldn't be playing together anyway to having no CDMs in the game. So can somebody tell me what was I'm not going to ask for the strategy because what was the formation when the 2 CDMs came off? Did anybody see anything that kind of made sense as far as the new formation? Because I really didn't pick up on that.
Let me say this, right? It's the same. We kept the same system. Speedy and Ravel sat there. It's just that there are 2 different types of midfielders. Ravel gave you more, which is why we're saying that the same position that Ravel, that Hacker was playing, Ravel could have played there because Ravel even went up into pressing, which Hacker couldn't do, or Grant couldn't do. But it is the same formation, but different personnel. I would just want to say this because I know Cranky, I think Leon didn't have a bad game. He didn't have an excellent game. He was double teamed. And Cataract made mention of this, that the strength of the El Salvadorian side is their wing play and their wing back play. That number 13 that had a hard time, he has created problems for every team so far. And I know Leon Bailey got a yellow card because of him. But I think Leon Bailey being on the field nullified some of his attacking play. So sometimes you may not do enough in terms of creating, but certain players' presence on the field, it do a lot. So number one, He was one of the players who was fouled the most for Jamaica. Poor free kick, but he had a couple of balls that he tried to put in. I think as well. No, I mean you can when you watch over the game, you'll see it. So to say that to kind of criticize Leon to say that he didn't basically saying that he should not. I don't know if you're saying that he should not have started, or the fact that he should not have started over Antonio. So I'm not really sure what is the point. But to say that he played bad, I don't think it is fair. He did not make Fisher look bad. This is how Fisher normally looks. Fisher
Manning's man.
Yeah.
Couple of things. One is the Jamaican population in general, I'll make a generalized statement, seem to always defend certain players who are their favorite players. They lack objectivity, and it's really bad how bad they lack objectivity. For you to come here and say, well, he tried to do something, and then say he plays well, it's startling to me. Nobody in the starting 11 played well. None, not one person. In the starting 11, neither Roof, now Bobby Reed, now Shamar, none of them played well. Not one player. Maybe the keeper didn't get a chance to save a lot of goals. Tell me one player in the starting 11 who played well. One player.
No.
So you can say Bailey played well. I find that strange, actually.
You are correct. You are correct, Stan. No one in the starting 11 played well.
None.
We just had an opponent who didn't play well either.
Exactly. I mean, there was people said Bailey played well. I heard in the chat that you're biased against Bailey. And I'm watching the game.
Let me ask you again, Cranky, because
what did he do well in the game? Tell me something he did well in the game. At any time during the game.
So Cranky, I'm going to answer your question. Then I'll ask you a question. You asked me. He didn't do anything.
Let
me finish. Let me finish. Let us. You say you want to change what the program is, so let's talk to each other instead of quarreling. I'm agreeing with you. Bailey did absolutely nothing on the field. He didn't do anything. There was nothing evident that he did. So fine. All right. Why shouldn't Bailey have? Because you had a problem with Bailey starting. What is the problem with Bailey starting?
So here's my point. I didn't have a problem with Bailey start. What I said was, whatever criteria you use to pick your team, make it apply to everyone equally. Don't make the excuse that Anthony is possibly injured or Anthony didn't play well in the Panama game. Listen to me before you respond. Listen, when Bailey didn't play well in the entire CONCACAF series of games, he wasn't available it's the first time he's available for the qualifiers. He played poor in his last Aston Villa game. He has been injured for most of the season. So how are you going to use a criteria to judge him, to judge Antonio, to judge Ravel, and you're going to start him and start the other players?
So let me stop with Antonio. Before the game started, it was said that Antonio had one session because they didn't say he was injured to the point where he can't play, but obviously there was something that prevented him from training. They came out before the game started and said they will not give him more than 15 minutes in this game. All right. So what I don't understand is why, if those reasons were given, it's still a problem if Bailey starts. It's not like let me finish, Cranky.
Go ahead.
It's not like Bailey. You're assuming that the reason why Bailey started is the reason why Rafael didn't start.
I think Catherine made a point earlier about the look. Jamalo didn't come in this window.
No.
But we brought in Curry Brook in the window. No, the point I'm trying to make is this. We have different standards.
No, man, we're not talking. But I don't want to go all over the place. I want to stick to Bailey.
You're harping on the Bailey situation.
But because you keep talking about Bailey.
Because Bailey is, man, here's what you're missing. I made a point earlier. Go back and watch the tape. I said I had no problem Bailey starting. We use the same criteria for every player and treat everyone fairly. I've made this point 101 times.
So what I'm saying to you is that what criteria was used to select Bailey in the starting 11 that was not applied to the other players?
So, Malins, I'm trying to make a point. I want to address something you said and in relation to Stan. Look here.
Hold on, let me read the super chat first, Qatar. Sorry to interrupt it all the time, but we know the super chat thing. Christopher Wong again. we were one midfielder short after the changes and was under pressure before and after our goal because we lost the midfield.
We
Go
never
ahead.
had the
So
midfield.
we never
We
had.
lost something we didn't have.
Well, Chris, that is true. Stan, you are correct. None of the 11 players who started can put their hand up and say they performed well. At best, Damian Lowe um, had a lot of defensive activity, but that was just because other people were playing badly. So he was called into action. Mariappa didn't disgrace himself, and the keeper did whatever he was asked to do. Right? Outside of that, once the attacking third, nobody covered themselves with any glory. When we do the show tomorrow, coach, where we normally rate the players, I can't see any one of the opening attackers getting more than 5 or even 4. The combination of Grant and Hacker does not work. Can't work, and anybody who know football would know say it can't work. But we'll leave it at that in terms of what you are saying, Stan. But where I challenge Mannings is this. Leon Bailey, yours, is coming off of an injury. He had 190 minutes for Aston Villa against I can't remember the team right now, but looked fairly ordinary. Right? Aston Villa lost, but they were down to 10 men, if I recall. Mikel Antonio starts every game for West Ham. No injury this season. So I don't want the GFF to keep lying. And I'm speaking strongly. Somebody said Mr. Ricketts is listening. Well, if you're listening, Mr. President, stop. Tell your staff to stop lying. Daniel Johnson is not injured. Andre Gray is not injured. Ethan Pinnock is not injured. These players that you told were injured, we seen them with our own 2 eyes play 90 minutes for their club. Just be honest and say, you don't want to man them.
Right. All right.
Antonio is fit. And I am guaranteeing you, unless he breaks down for Jamaica with injury in the USA game, somebody have their mic open. Unless he breaks down in the USA game, I am guaranteeing you he's going back to West Ham to start the very next game, and he's going to play 90 minutes or 80-something minutes. Guaranteeing you. Nothing is wrong with him.
All right, coach.
Cataract,
let me just
manage,
hold on.
and stand.
Let me say this, because listen, I can't have a conversation where it's moving from the same criteria that was used for Leon Bailey to start to Jamal Lowe and Adrian Gray and the GFF line. I'm not having that conversation.
You said, on a point of order, you spoke about and you stated that Mikel Antonio may be carrying an injury.
Let me say this again.
And that's why he's only available for 15 minutes in this game. And I'm saying to you, those things are mendacious.
Let me say this again. Cataract, you can say whatever you want to say. I'm telling you what is out there and what I read. You can say it is so, but that is what was said. You have your other information, because obviously you have your other information. And I don't trust the information you are sharing with me. I trust the other information that I've read and heard. All right? So you can trust what you want. No, man, let me finish now. So let me come back to my point. Leon played bad. What I want to find out is what criteria we are saying was used to select Leon Bailey in the starting 11 that they did not use to select some other player. That is all I'm asking.
Matter.
That's all I'm asking.
The same criteria where Corey Burke played, the same criteria where Haka played, same criteria the local players, a lot of local players play. Same
Can
criteria.
I say something?
I'm not understanding the conversation, because
Jacob, we shift the goalpost.
Yeah.
You understand?
Can I say something?
Let us hold on. Let us dissolve that aspect of the conversation, because I think we're going around in a circle, and move on. Welcome to the beautiful Crystal Talawa TV. Please subscribe to our channel. I'm gonna let us hear from Dean, then we move over to Crystal. Go ahead, Dean.
Sean has been trying to make a point to the coach.
Yeah, we're shifting the goalposts, and in such we lose critique of the game itself and what transpired. And if we're gonna have the discussion about the game, Crank, I understand your thought process. Every player must get selected of the same wavelength, whether injuries, quality of play, availability, and all of that. We all agree upon that, and nobody would dare go against that thought process. We want the field to be level in our selection. However, whatever the selection is, or whatever the core of players that we have, or that is presented for the squad, that is what we have to deal with. Whatever the reason, none of us eventually is going to know why Antonio was going to give him such limited time, or why Leon. You understand what I'm saying? None of us, because the coaches will never ever come out and say that. Right? But subsequently, we use what we have, and we have to select out of that. So we can go all the way back as far as we want to go. And you can see where it costs us games sometimes, and now it costs us points. Now, when the changes are made, the game change. We have to agree upon that. Within the time where the change is made, we get a goal that pushes us ahead. We can agree upon that. After we get the goal, and we look like we have 3 points, which is the frustrating part to everyone on this panel, we literally give it up. We didn't take 3, we come away with 1. Right? So we can all agree upon that. So we have to just keep the conversation within that perimeter.
But Dean, I have to take onus with the fact that I think.
Cranky.
Wait a minute, let me just finish this thought, coach. We keep focusing on 2 minutes or 1 minute of a 90-minute game, and that's what I struggle with.
No, we're not. I'm not. I'm personally not. We're going all the way from this. Remember, we have to go from the squad that we had, the 22 man or the 18, or whatever the number, to the 18, to the starting 11, to the start of the game, to the halfway point, to where we make the changes, to where we get the goal, to subsequently where the game end. Right? So it's, as you say, a holistic view, but at the end we are going to kind of break it down because of our frustration in where we see we have something and then it just disappear because of whatever the reason. Players not carrying out the responsibility, lack of concentration, lack of commitment to challenge for a ball. These are the little things that and if we can't correct it, we are in trouble.
I'll make one point, Dean. When you want to fix a problem, don't fix the symptom, fix the root cause. Because fixing the symptom is not fixing the problem. You have to fix the root cause to fix the problem.
We all can go to the root.
Sean, I understand you wanted to make a point. After Sean, we're going to have Crystal. Go ahead, Sean.
So I've been all night, the conversation has been circling around player selection and who gets selected and why and criteria. That's one talking point. The second talking point is who should get the brunt of the blame. And it seems as if, from what I'm hearing, the players are getting the brunt of the blame because we were 1 goal up and we squandered the opportunity. Regarding player selection and who should play and who is a friend and who is not a friend and is the coach biased and is he not? Every coach has a preference. Every coach has strengths. Every coach has weaknesses. A man I go select whoever them want to select for whatever reason. At the end of the day, if your bias, if your selection is resulting in the team winning games, nobody gives a damn. We're winning games. We are not winning. So it's the coach. It's the coach. It's the coach. It's the coach. You could have go get anybody you want to get. Go get Ronaldo and Messi and put them on this team. We're not winning. It's the coach. It's the coach. It's the coach. Compare this Jamaica team to teams that we have seen in the past, where we are talking player for player. How much more talented is this team individually than some of the other teams that we have seen in the past? I think maybe only the 1998 Reggae Boys team, player for player, is better than the squad. And this squad, the game that I see tonight, is one of the most atrocious games that I have ever seen Jamaica play. It's the coach. It's the coach. It's the coach.
That's the coach to the 10 power. For you, right, Sean?
It's the coach.
It's
It's
the
and
So
hold
Sean
on,
is
hold on.
focusing on root cause.
Here is the thing that is baffling to me. Yes, Cracky, I'm focusing on root cause because I hear people talk about, well, we did a lead by 1 goal. This team should not be a team that should be leading El Salvador by 1. With the quality of players that we have, we're leading El Salvador by 1. Come on, like that don't make any sense to me. And the thing that I don't understand is Theodore Whitmore is regressing because I have seen Jamaica play better football under Theodore Whitmore than we are playing now. So that is something I just cannot wrap my head around. Like, why is the team regressing? Why is he not improving on previous results? It's the coach, it's the coach, it's the coach.
So I don't have to read that super chat from Darnet Low. Big up yourself, Darnet. Crystal, go ahead. What say you? Welcome.
Good evening, guys. I don't actually know where to start, coach.
You're free to start wherever you want to start. You're
I
the rule.
actually, I actually ended my live quite sharpishly after full time because I was thinking, what is there to dissect? We kind of feel like a broken record. You're saying the same thing every single match that these guys come up. Every single World Cup qualifying campaign window is the same thing. Just kind of feel like an echo at the moment. I think I've gone past the stage of caring. I still care. The passion and the commitment is there, but I'm now in like worrying territory because now I feel completely depleted. Because I'm thinking, what else? Where do you go from here? I think for the first time in a long while, I've seen a team where just you look like a question mark. You just have no idea what's going on. And I think what I gathered from that game against El Salvador, for the first time since the World Cup qualifying campaign, usually we start off really solid in the first quarter an hour of a game, right? And you can kind of draw an assumption as to how the game would pan out. For the first 15 minutes, both for El Salvador and for Jamaica, we looked completely disjointed and depleted, had no idea what was going on. All I'm seeing is just long balls floating here and there, left, right, and center. But I think visibly for the first time, what we're seeing is players actually showing their frustration. And that for me is a massive worry. And one player who was visibly frustrated with one or two of their players was Damian Lowe. And you could see him giving instructions. Obviously, people are going to say that he's going to show his emotions visibly because, of course, he is the vice captain. But you have not seen him do this in recent games. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, i.e., in the changing room. I don't know if he's giving his players the hairdryer treatment, but you definitely saw that on show on the field in this game. And that kind of tells me that we're in worrying times. If we weren't in worrying times now, we're definitely in worrying times. It's ridiculous that you're going up against a team that is pretty much like for like in terms of performance, matches played, matches won, matches losses, matches drawn, and you can't get the better of them. With no disrespect to El Salvador, you are superior to them with the starting 11 and the players that you have on the bench. And it's ridiculous that you cannot get 3 points in El Salvador's backyard. And the only team that's below us is El Salvador and Honduras. And if you can't go to El Salvador's backyard and Honduras backyard and give them a hammering, what the hell is going to happen when you're up against the big dogs? What's going to happen there? And obviously, football, anything can happen. So, yes, you can have a shambolic performance against El Salvador and then go and get a good result against Canada and possibly do one better against USA. But my worry as the 12th man is I don't really know where to go from here, because I'm looking to the team, I'm looking to the setup of the team to like give me that added bit of momentum just to uplift my morale. And finally, they've completely knocked the stuffing out of me. I don't actually know what to do as the 12th man, because I was looking forward to the game at the office against the United States, our fierce rivals, just like Mexico. But right now I feel like a balloon, a balloon that was high up in the sky, and then a little kid just come along and pop it. You just come along and just burst my balloon. Like, I just feel completely depleted and in some sense defeated as well.
Yeah, man. Well said. Before we hear from Dre anyway, though, Kadi Gordon, big up yourself for that super chat. On a positive note, Manning's man still have the big box TV. Big up Manning's. Yeah, get a little vibes here. Joe Grant again, Jamaica road to Qatar was cut short the moment Aka was called up. Right then and there, we knew players were not selected based on performance. Dre, anyway, what say you?
Coach have a lot to say. Been sitting in all night and watching the game, the watch along a couple platforms. But leading up to the game at the beginning of the week, when I saw training sessions and the squad out there, it's a total 360 come match day again. We see to Panama with the training leading up, and then match day with total different 11. Same thing we just again tonight. To CDM, and we expect to bring the ball forward, drive the ball forward. Don't see that coming in. Nothing that happened today. For like 60 minutes, it was just no identity out there for the national team. Long balls down the flank. Bailey was frustrated. I think Fisher needed help. Right? Bobby Reed is a player who has played a more defensive role. So moving Bobby to the right side would have kept some of the pressure off of Fisher. Some in-game movement that I thought the head coach of the national team would have been doing throughout the game. Some formation changes, some tactics, in-game tactics, it was lacking today. And then the substitutions, timing, and player personnel coming out there, it was just a dismay today. Like Pistol said, you had a balloon, excited, going in, and some match there, and the result, balloon pop, and you feel deflated. But we got USA, Chelsea ball look fit and run from Mexico to their court. So I don't know what happened in the National Stadium. No Anthony Grant. Ravel and Speed in the middle of the park. Hopefully it's not Javon. We see in injury. So we'll see what happens against USA. Can only hope for the best, but we definitely know it's going to be a stronger overall 11 if Tapa was supposed to learn from his mistakes of this game here. But optimistic to say what's the end result at the end of the day, whether or not Coach Tapa will go forward. He will go forward as the head coach of the national team.
Has he ever learned from his mistake?
Hold on. So I want to challenge my good friend. Section 150, them on their real ultra Reggae Boy fan. Coach, I want to challenge him because I think Dre, I was expecting you to call out your football in 90 Virgin and about what was a really poor game up front. Because we have to call the people we're close to and invested to. We have to split justice when they do not perform. So that was missing. But the Crystal said something. I think Crystal most of Jamaica knows that anything, yeah, man. No better here, no better bar. But me not have no other side for support. So we just have to work with this side, yeah. So, but the truth. But coach, I want us to can we confirm, because speaking to Grant, he said he's not aware of receiving a yellow card prior to that. This will be his first yellow card. Can you confirm if he received a yellow card in a previous game and therefore will be out of this game?
All right, let me check.
One of the things that I don't get when the argument of
Sean, you good?
So one of the things I don't get is when chemistry and continuity is used to justify the poor team selection, right? Where I am a layman's, right? I mean, I'm not no coach, but e- even I on the outside looking in, if I'm gonna go for chemistry and continuity, why not start Grant and Speedy? Where did Aka just magically walk in from? Like, where did the chemistry come from? If we are going for chemistry and continuity, why not Grant and Speedy?
That's what we're all asking. That's what we're all been asking.
We won't dissect the method to Tapa's madness. That's all we can put it.
My biggest concern tonight is Panama. Because based on that game tonight, listen, United States does not want to see Panama. Mexico does not want to see Panama.
No, but
Like,
Sean, you say it right, you know, but I think you're going to one different part.
what?
Because how do we dislodge them from that fourth position? Because they are basically sitting pretty right now, you know.
Coach,
I
And
have three
yes,
answers for you
yeah, let me say,
to dislodge them. I'm going to be real quick, management, to dislodge them.
man.
Do you want to dislodge them?
Mm-hmm.
A coach, a coach, a coach.
It's the coach. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Mannings, go ahead.
Okay. No, I know that Dean said that his battery is going to die shortly. So I don't know if you want him to say his last thing and then I can come in after that.
Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
Come in on a different device.
Oh, you're on a different device. Okay,
he says that he's going to come in on a different device. Okay.
All right, no problem.
All right. So what I'll say is this. Listen, the team has been playing poorly. The game against Honduras, we played poorly, though we won. All right. There are some basic things I have a problem with. Like tonight, and like I say, where I blame Whitmore is these things. Because once you select the team, that's a team that you select. You know, we have our opinion, and most of us selected other people. Tonight was one of the nights when we won none of the first balls. I wanted to check that. So we didn't want any first ball or any second ball. I have a problem with we playing long and our goalkeeper don't kick the ball out well. All right? Every time our right back got the ball, he made such a bad control that he had no choice but to turn it back and put his team under pressure.
On a point of order, man, the right back has a name.
Remind me.
Right back has a name.
Remind me.
O'Neal, Bigger, Fisher.
All right, yeah. So the right back kept out because his body position is bad. So I can blame the coach for playing him. But this man playing in Major League Soccer, when you're collecting the ball, you have to turn so you can create the angles for the pass that you have. Whatever the options are. If the ball, if you want to play it down the flank to Liam Bailey, you have to control the ball going out. He kept on controlling the ball. And I don't know, every game he has been playing, this is a problem. This is where some of the things the coach have to take responsibility for. So this player is like, I'm going to understand, all right? We're trying to play it from the back. You know. we tried to play it from the back, and every time we play it from the back, we give it to a goalkeeper who cannot find somebody to pass the ball to. So the strategy don't make any sense because we can't play out from the back because the keeper can't pass the ball properly out the back. When we kick it.
So can I say a couple of things?
Stan, as I just indicated, I was wanting to make a point, the exact point the manager was saying. Did you see how many times Anthony Grant in the first half was free to collect the pass, asking for the pass, like so, having style when we go so, and totally ignored by the keeper, by Lowe, and at times by Kemar?
Let me give you the answer. It is obvious, I want you to watch this, that in this game, the players or the coach made up their mind that Anthony Grant was going to be the ball winner. I want you to watch the game again and see every time that ball was played behind, from the very beginning, you see Haka cuss him. I tell him to run. But he was not supposed to be getting... No, seriously. They were having some argument, especially when he ran down the left and Lowe came across and shielded that ball out. You saw Haka telling that is where he's supposed to run. So when I saw that, I got the feeling like his role was to tackle and win the ball. When they had to play the ball, is Haka they going to play it too? Or Lowe was going to play it long. But the plan was not to give Anthony Grant the ball to play it out. So to me, it don't even matter the formation. I don't even matter the starting 11. But I have a problem with what is the plan. Use who you want to use, because you are the coach.
But it should be a decisive plan.
So a couple of things.
So let me know what your plan is.
So a couple of things. One is I don't.
Before you speak, Cranky, I've checked Ohin, and I've not seen where in the past few games Anthony Grant had received a yellow card. It was Fisher, Damian Lowe, and Javon Watson. So I don't know if that card
he's available. No, man, he's available.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Cranky.
So management talks about playing from the back. Can anyone tell me which game, since, and think about CONCACAF included, where we have had more than 40% possession? Maybe the Costa Rica game in the Gold Cup. Tell me another game we've had more than 40% possession. Like, we don't keep the ball. We talk about keeping the ball. If you can't do something, why do it?
Are we talking in just this campaign?
No, I'm talking about the Gold Cup and the World Cup qualifying campaign.
Oh,
how many games we play have we got more than 40% possession?
Today.
We have more than 40% today.
Yeah, yes. 4-1.
Barely. So that means they had 59.
Yeah.
And most of that shifted when Ravel came on the field.
That's the point I'm going to make, which is management. Which is, if you can't keep the ball, then it's very hard to play the ball from the back, isn't it? If you can't control the ball, you can't make a pass, you're actually going to bully it upfield. A lot of times our defense won the ball. You know what they did? Just kick the ball to the opposition, and it comes back to us. When Lowe wins the ball sometimes, and he has time on the ball, he just take his time and say, Fisher go wide, Mariappa go wide, Grant position yourself. He just boosts the ball upfield. Coach. And the ball comes right back to us.
Cranky, let me ask you this.
Cranky.
Lowe made 22 passes in the direction of Leon Bailey. Every single pass he made out the back was to the side that Leon Bailey was. Check them.
Okay. One thing I've said, though, gentlemen, is that the players, and I think while we're talking about this possession thing, I do believe that one of the contributing factor to that is that these players are not comfortable on the ball. When we get the ball, look what happened. Is either we keep it too long and the play is closed down, and we try to long pass, lose possession, or we get dispossessed.
So, coach, the two players were coming to the ball. Speedy and Ravel, our two players were coming to the ball. They weren't on the field. It's always about Ravel, which is this. He always seems to have more room than anybody else. So if you can't keep the ball, then you want somebody in the field who can help you keep the ball, Who's going to get the ball to the forwards? The forwards were starved for position for ball today.
Yeah, they weren't
Starved.
in the game.
Not even scraps to feed on.
There are two things that let us can't keep possession of the ball. And one is that the team plays with no width and depth. We play in a nutshell. If you see how close our players are, for you to keep possession of the ball, you have to use the entire field. You have to make the field big, limit your touches, and move the ball to your teammates. We don't do that. And if you can't do that, you cannot keep possession of the ball. Those two things.
Oh boy.
So, in other words, you were saying we do not play expansive football.
Not
we
at
play
all.
very narrow.
We don't.
But Mannings has disappeared without asking the question.
We don't.
Hold on. He tried to say that the team tactic was to give Haka the ball. Grant is a better protector of the ball when receiving the ball from defense. That's been his trade.
Yes. And he pulls fouls or draw fouls.
That is his trade. So I don't know how that dropped in. I also am interested. I'm going to, whenever I get to see the game again, I'll look to see those passes. But it was clear. At one point, I just thought the man, I just never want an Englishman playing that game because neither Roof nor Grant did I get any ball whatsoever. I feel sorry for Roof. He just.
No, but Qatar are not putting it that far because obviously they weren't getting the sort of feed.
Yeah,
that they wanted.
One of the forwards, Bobby Reed, Roof, Nicholson was even worse.
I am not talking about the forward. I'm just talking about the cam, who is supposed to be the player that is supposed to create in your attack, which is the role that you gave Roof. And you see them, neither were getting the ball. I watched Low twice. I can't count the 20 car. You know, in an environment that noisy and people are saying things, I might miss something. But twice, just look at the man straight, you know, and just turn and do something else with the ball. And you know what? Both occasions, the pass was errant.
No, but Ketterak, he was trying to make the final pass most of the time.
But
he was trying to make the final pass from deep most of the time.
But Ketterak.
In football, you do the simple things.
If we touch the ball too many times, if one player wants to touch the ball 4 and 5 times before the ball leaves his feet and go to his teammate, what do you expect his teammate to do? He's going to be late at all time. Okay, so we start reacting. We don't move. Our transition game stinks.
But Devon, you're going into something. I'm thinking about a specific thing. I want to ask you.
But it has to do with the game.
The defender has the ball. The defender playing on the left of centre back has the ball.
And he touched it 6 times before he lets it go to Grant or anywhere. No, so what you expect is going to happen?
Or he turns it back.
Your left-sided CDM is asking for the ball. What would cause you not to pass the simple pass to him?
Let me tell you why, Ketterak. Because I answered this
and then I would love to hear Dean and I'd love to hear Talawa after Mannings.
Let me tell you why.
Just give the answer to that.
Yeah, man. So let me answer you. Remember the coach said that you remember when he did the interview about the long balls, he was asked about it from where you call him, the pink watch boss, I think you call it, gentleman.
Yeah, man.
But he said that Maggie need to go and demand the ball. Remember, I came on and I said to you guys, it is obvious that there are certain players on the team don't trust. So here's what they do. I keep telling you, they rather play it long and at least be able to settle themselves defensively than to play to these players and look, because they just feel like, hold on now, we may not agree with it, you know.
The players have names, so you're speaking in hyperbole.
No, but I'm telling Maggie was one of them. You're asking about Grant, so I'm telling you, that's who you're asking about. And I'm telling you, it happens with Maggie. They don't trust because it's not like Maggie don't go back, but when Maggie go back, he says they kick it over his head because they don't trust his ability in those parts of the field to do what is necessary with the ball. And so they think, let us kick it long up the field. Better we lose it up here than lose it in this third of the field. And the same thing
Management, you know
affected
what you
Brentford
might be
here.
missing? It's not only that they don't trust the player that they are passing it to. I think in some cases they themselves don't trust their own ability to make the short pass in their
Well,
section or half of the field.
I've said it earlier. The players are not confident on the ball. I've said it. Now you see, we go back right to it. I've
So,
said it.
so okay. So can I hear Dean and Crystal on what is it we see? And I also see the light, Dean, is that this is the trade of Anthony Grant. Yes, he's an enforcer and those things. That was in his younger days when he used to run around the field mad and Brockman, boss lace. But now his trade is receiving the ball for the defense and transitioning it quickly to the attacking players. Why would he be blatantly ignored? And why is that style of not going through your CDM? Dean and then Crystal. Love to hear your take on these things.
All right. It's one match Jamaica playing in the last 11 games where we actually tried to play the ball through the lines, and that was Costa Rica in the Gold Cup. And what was the complement of players? We had the young players who trust each other, who try to pass the ball amongst each other and move the balls. That was the only game. Now, we have yet to outpossess anybody in any game at any point, whether in this campaign or through the Gold Cup campaign. So let's take that through the window. If you want to ask me what it appears to be our style of play, is hit it long and hope for something happen amongst the striker. Even that's the way we got the goal today. Though. The ball played directly from Kemar, I believe, to Antonio, who would have the challenge and then get you on the break. So
you're right.
What it require us to do, and that have to be something that is a day in, day out implementation in your practice session to possess the football. If you don't try to possess the football, when you get into games, it is not going to happen, whether you trust who upon the field or not. Now, when the ball gets to the middle of the field, whether it come from the centre back or the flank players or the wing backs, right? The midfield now has the responsibility to connect, which when Ravel came in, he was doing that, right? When Speedy came in, he was doing that. Also, that is kind of contributory from the kind of players you have. If you don't have the legs to move and run within the midfield, or your centre backs don't trust you have the legs to move the ball through the line and to possess the ball, they are going to search. The problem we have though is, if we are going to search, and which is evident to me, that's what we do 80% of the time. If we're going from back, whether it is from Blake, Lowe, Mariappa, Lawrence, Fisher to a lesser extent, right? If we're going to play over the top, we must challenge for the second ball. The second thing is, even when we go over the top, we passes our way off. So it compounds what we want to do, or what we the spectators want to see, and the frustration that we all have when we watch the games. We're not playing it through the lines and we're missing the passes when we go over the top. That is a big problem for us. We have to have legs to move. We have to have mobility. We have to move before the ball. We have to start creating the options when the ball is on its way. So when the ball gets to its destination, it don't stop. Whether it is in the middle of the pitch, to the flank, or up top. Leon's issue today was every time he got the ball, he believed he had to take on someone. Too few or none at all I can recall where he make a 1 touch or a 2 touch. And these are the things that are constantly affecting the team. Going back as far as the Gold Cup. It's like we are still searching for an identity. But I have come to the conclusion that our identity is from back to front and hope something happen.
Go ahead, Crystal.
There's so much there to digest. I think I might need 24 hours to actually digest everything that's happened, both in the game and with your respected opinions. I think one of the things that I've found quite baffling with the team selection, just overall, for me, there's too many chop and change. And for me, when you chop and change, you kind of stop whatever rhythm you potentially build up. You disrupt the chemistry. Everybody knows it's not rocket science that the engine of the team comes from your midfield. So that clearly shows that clearly means that you have to have a midfield pairing that complements each other. Does Hacker and Grant complement each other? I don't think that they do. I think you need to sort out your midfield so that they complement each other. So you need to have your man who's going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. You need to have your alligator, the man who's going to bite off a player's head when necessary. You're not the man who's going to rough up your defense and try to bridge the gap between your defense, your midfield, and also your attack. At the moment, we don't have that. And also, it's so frustrating as well. I'm finding it so difficult to really have a go at the players, because when you look at the Scottish Premier League, when you look at the Championship, when you look at the Premier League, when you analyze players like Leon Bailey from Bayer Leverkusen, Leon Bailey at Aston Villa, Bobby Reid at Fulham, Kimar Roof up in Scotland with Rangers, these are completely different players when they come to the national setup. It's gotten to a point where people are now or previously have questioned the commitment of the players. And then we're sat here saying that obviously their performance is disjointed. To me, they look like a bunch of headless chickens. No disrespect to the players, but they look like they don't have a clue what's going on. And I've always said that football is no different to my 9-to-5 and your 9-to-5. And I know we've spoke on the element of trust, and this is why I'm bringing up 9-to-5, because me as a person, if I do not get that respect and that pat on the back and that element of confidence from my manager or my line manager or my CEO, unintentionally, my morale drops. So when my morale drops, you're not going to get the best out of me. So it just goes back to looking at the board, looking at the people who make the player selection, looking at the staffing setup, looking at the head coach or the manager in charge, because you have to wonder, at some point, this is insanity. If it's not working, why are you not moving to an alternative solution? And it can't be a case where your plan B is better than your plan A, because I think, no disrespect to players that were on the starting 11, but when you look at players that weren't called up and players that were on the bench, your plan B or your plan C is evidently better than your plan A. So what on earth is going on? And that's why it's becoming so frustrating, and it's so difficult not to speak with emotions. But these guys are playing with people. They're playing with the 12th man, because I don't know what it is about JFF. It's almost as if they think, because someone said something to me the other day when I tried to open up a bank account, and it really pissed me off, because they said that, this isn't Britain. And I actually went mad on them. So what do you mean this isn't Britain? I didn't ask you if this is Britain, and I didn't ask you if this is America. I didn't ask you if this is Canada. The man in the bank said to me that this isn't Britain, this is Jamaica. We're a third world country. So because we're a third world country, we're supposed to expect the basic minimum, the bare minimum. And it is like that all across Jamaica. And the people at the top, the people who should be steadying the ships, they take us for a bunch of fools, because they don't seem to understand, just like the Brazilians, just like the English, we are extremely passionate about football. So they feel like they can just give us any old nonsense and we will sit back and be comfortable with it. And I keep on telling them, we're living in a day of social media where our voices will be heard, and we will be calling out nonsense. And at the moment, if my plan B and my plan A is better than plan C, obviously you are doing something wrong. So somebody needs to be held in account, whether that be the coaching staff, whether that mean the head coach or the manager or JFF. People need to be held in account, because what's going on at the moment is unacceptable.
So I think Crystal mentioned a couple of things. One which is there's a conundrum, right? Crystal mentioned the whole challenge of your plan B or plan C, maybe better than your plan A. So I'll translate in my own understanding, which is I have a contingent of players better than those that I have, but I won't call them because in my view I have a quota system that I'm a slave to, and therefore I have to exercise that quota system. So I won't call the best players. I blame it on resources. I blame it on them being injured. I use all sort of means to justify my selection of a squad and my selection of a team. And I keep saying 24/7. It's that when you look at football in world football, most times the team that don't keep the ball well versus the opponent are the lesser team. The teams don't have the ability to keep the ball versus who you're playing against. Think about a Man City or a PSG or a Liverpool. Think about the teams that are better and who they play against when you can't keep the ball versus your opponent because you have less quality. We have not been able to keep the ball against any opponent. I think Dean sort of mentioned what that time span was. We can't keep the ball. And because we don't have the better players to keep the ball. So we can make excuses all we want. We can blame the coach. We can blame XYZ. The coach is part of that whole equation because he hasn't demonstrated over time, even though he has a good winning record, that when the competition level steps up, that he can compete at a certain level. And we, as Crystal mentioned, we are getting frustrated. But Crystal, no matter what forums we have, no matter what ability we have, I'm not sure we have the influence. First of all, we can't select the JFF. We have no influence. The parishes does that, right? We can't select the coach because it sits with the JFF to do so. So even though we may be able to have, get our frustration out and let it be known, can we truly make meaningful change, given we don't have, it's an elective process about how you do that with the general populace. It's really in a certain segment of people who are allowed to do that, and they all have been co-opted. So don't look for changes in the immediate future.
So, Coach, I wanted to respond to Crystal. Coach,
you want me to respond?
No. I said I would like to respond to Crystal.
Okay.
You would recall, and I don't. This is 1 o'clock in the night, so me not expect no picnic. Yes, but me now go OD or anything. You recall when I told you that the JFF is like an abusive husband who just beat up him wife. They just beat us up as fans, like just box we and kick we and then go a K-manners and the boss and they just come slap you up little salt extra and the rice and peas and Ray or the picnic. They just abusive, like mental abuse. I sat there with about 20 people after curfew who risk getting pulled over by the police in a New Kingston, right? And when the match done, the feeling of the people, it's like being a man. I just feel like a battered wife. I look for the shelter. More I know why this team that I love. Why am I doing that? Because from the minute the goals going up, me in a Kingston jerk and my knee. Ask anybody, I said, Jesus or Jah, anyway, if I goes man, whoever, please make the 90-minute come to my side. And bam, bam. The whole game. El Salvador is not a good team. They have 2 good players. I spent Sunday on Reggae Boyz commentary and break down the team. Rondon, the captain, and Hernandez, the left side, is their strength. And you tell me that to Christ, and the man, the one danger man, you don't put a marker on him? I mean, there's few minutes left in the game.
Cataract with that being said.
Erdnati said, what the God, shot? Erdnati said that the best team was there. How if you have the best team and you don't have Ethan Pinnock? Ethan Pinnock is arguably has excelled and has proven himself to be one of the best left-sided central defenders, better than the ones them in England. He's better than Tyrone Mings. Right now, if he never cap himself to Jamaica,
England
Gone.
gone with him.
call him up because
Yeah.
Tyrone Mings is not that good. He is better than Slabhead.
I agree with you.
People came on here and lambasted that the man slow. I watched the man run down in the last minute of the game, Brentford and Norwich, and run down and take off a ball. I watched him go down the flank and provide a beautiful square. I watched him as a left-sided center defender go down the flank, overlap with Rico Henry. I watched him score against Liverpool. Are you telling me the best players are not here? You're telling me that, sorry, no disrespect to Maps, the boss, who is not playing, that he is a better fit on the left side? Come on, Badman. Amari Bell is not the best left-sided winger there is. But I damn sure know that Luton Town has kept 3 clean sheets since the last international break. And sake of the fact that you don't want to refund the youth the money where he paid and that you agreed to, you malign him and cut him out of the team. These are things me not gonna stop talking about them because me not gonna hold them back. Me not gonna be the battered wife and sit down in the house and take a beating, brother. Me gonna try beat back at you. And you know what the truth is? You don't now get 5,000 people in the stadium. So no better the tank or a full Andrew full car. Him shall let you bring everybody in and see the stadium empty. Because Jamaica that one of it.
2,000 tickets purchased so far, and those include people coming from US.
I probably 2,000 US man purchase a ticket because them Jamaican they laugh. Remember me telling them, me then I stay them, you know. When me lie down, I won't ever bring a sheet. Because the stadium empty after 2000 in 2001 when the qualification go belly up. The people them just nobody come. So don't believe that we can't do anything.
I go hear an echo Sunday, Tuesday.
This that occurred, we have wasted the opportunities that God has given us. You know what doesn't happen in the Jamaican squad? The players don't receive a briefing, like like a package. When I used to be a fighter, right? When we are going a fight, I get a little thing that said, that man here, intend to drop him guard or him weak and this look out for the over and right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point at the man that I'm coming up against. Each player is not given an individual dossier to say this is the task that you have for this game. And Dean can tell me in the happening of them time they are a sub-professional football run.
You said professional.
Let me say this, coach. And
Can I make a point real quick before you jump in, management? I want to follow up on what Cataract was saying. You said there are only 2 good players on that El Salvador team. Which was Stan gone? No, I want to stand here for this point. There are only 2 good players on that El Salvador team. Okay, Jamaica, player for player, is far better than El Salvador. Who had the most ball possession tonight? That would be El Salvador. That is why I disagree with Stan Kroenke show after show that it's not the quality of the players, because we are better than El Salvador, player for player, yet they had more possession than we did. So obviously, it's not the quality of the players, because we had better quality than they did. So if it's not the players, then what is it?
Let me say this, coach.
We have a side, them have a team.
There are a couple of factors that are very important to know. Like El Salvador had practice games. I think except for the center back who is a regular MLS player, they have some USL player that they were able to get way before the window because they're in the USL, and then the majority of the players are in El Salvador. So they, I think, probably have the opportunity of playing together because sometimes you may not be better man to man, you know, but as a team you are better. As a team, El Salvador is a whole.
We're a better side, man. We're a better side.
Yeah, which is it. But when they come on to team play, they are better than us. They defended. They defended better as a team. They were more cohesive in their attempts going forward. But the individual talent on the Jamaica team, we can say, is better. Like I said, the team did poorly, but listen, I normally criticize Damian Lowe. I think he had a few rush tackles, but tonight I felt like he defended better than in previous, because in the Honduras game he was horrible. I felt like tonight he defended better tonight.
Man, I think him horrible tonight too.
Really?
Two worst game him have so far are them back-to-back game. Yeah.
Well, he's better. Well, I think he was better tonight. I also think, I know Taxi just, Cataract just brought up Amari Bell, and I'd love to see him in the side. But we had Greg Lee. Isn't Greg Lee in the team? Who is a quality left back. But I will say that Taxi didn't play good, but he wasn't. It wasn't a horrible performance, and I will say that he has, for the last couple of games, he's one of the players that have looked better.
Steady.
Yeah, let me say steady, right? So I want to, you know,
Hold on, Manins. But you're talking about the player that in the first 120 seconds of the US game, as the last defender, hauled down a man.
Yeah. No, I said the last two
wrestled
games,
the attacker to the ground.
Wouldn't you admit that the last couple of games he has been one of the most steadier players?
Ordinary. It looks ordinary. Not the worst. And you see, when in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man a king. But when you have a left back, how many crosses did he put in?
Him did get up there to put the cross in.
But that's what I'm saying, which is
you're playing on the weaker side. No, Brian Tamakas had a day. He could have had a couple of pina coladas and
what I'm saying,
burn a high-grade spliff.
Catter, like, remember, and so we have to look at, this is what I'm saying, how the team was playing. This is where, like, I expect my computer guy to say, listen, we have our center back, Mariappa didn't play many long balls. So he didn't play any balls that would come to Bobby Reed or to Kemar Lawrence. All the long passes were made from Damian Lowe, and they were directed down the side where Leon Bailey was. Even when Bobby Reed was open, that ball never came across from Lowe, and it didn't come to Mariappa, who played it long. All the long passes were made by Lowe. This is where I'm saying I'm Blaine Whitmore. When you look at the game, there should be somebody on a computer saying, we have made 16 unsuccessful passes trying to find Leon. Maybe he's been double teamed. Maybe he's been double teamed. Can we now try to see if we can create a double team on the left side with Kemar and Bobby, and instead of Damian Lowe, let Mariappa? These are in the game things that I want to see happening, that somebody should be there checking. That's what I'm saying. Like at what point do we say in the game, all right, the number 13 over there seem to be giving Leon a hard time. Let's move Leon over to the left and Bobby over to the right. Like these are in the game things that I don't think would change the formation, but it would probably give us more. And these are the things that I blame the coach for. So I'm saying the in the game management is lacking.
What doesn't the team have analysis?
No, that's what I'm saying. If I may add something with regards to Lowe, right? It no matter who they're on the right hand side of this of the ball are going. So is that even a factor of Leon being there? He has never played a ball across the field.
A diagonal.
Well,
He can't.
Yeah, when he decides to go long, it's always up the side, missed by 15 yard over the man head, or up the middle, missed by 20 yard. So we don't even have the quality and the range in our passes. Whether it be 5 yard or we not trust, because we miss like 5 yard passes with player wide open.
So what I don't understand is
give me a second, Sean and gentlemen. Crystal needs to leave, so I'm just gonna give her a few minutes to say what she has to say before she leaves.
First of all, thank you again, coach, for the invite, and it's a pleasure sharing the same platform as your panelists as well. Just to touch on what Cranky said in terms of, I believe paraphrasing, he says that he doesn't think that we have enough influence to make a change, and I kind of disagree, and this is the one time where I will actually look to take some ideas, not only from the English game, but particularly from the Manchester United fans and the way they go about things. I'm not trying to promote any form of decisive actions, but if you look at how they behave and how Manchester United fans conduct themselves when it comes to being proactive and not settling for nonsense, I do think that we can adapt that approach as well. Again, I'm not trying to promote anything, but if you don't be decisive and make forceful decisions, then I'm afraid history will continue to repeat itself. So again, I would look to, in terms of being influential, in terms of wanting to remove the old guard, I will definitely look to the English game, and I actually look at how fans like Manchester United fans react to wanting change and how they approach certain games, especially the big game. I think the biggest game that they had that made headlines across the world was funny enough, against Liverpool, and that was massive headlines in England, because obviously we all know, even as an Arsenal fan, the biggest game in the Premier League calendar is obviously Manchester United versus Liverpool. And for that game to be cancelled, people lost a lot of money. You don't need me sitting here telling you one way of hurting JFF is to squeeze their pocket. And if you squeeze their pocket, I think they start to act like they've got common sense. Because at the moment, when you look at that board, common sense isn't very common amongst JFF. And they're doing it because they've been made to get away with it for decades upon decades. So just to wrap up, I definitely think that we have what it takes as the 12th man to make meaningful change come to light.
So Crystal said for Russia game. Mash up again. And that Crystal said in a some nice pretty British thing. Here the ultras, the ultra family. Back again. Crystal said for buckle up with JFF vehicle over there called Russia team and stand up on the
Draw from it what you will. But I did not say that, but draw from it what you will. Again, I'm not encouraging anyone to go out there and do anything, but
you come when we are rushing thing, you pay bill.
I'm going to be at the game. Let's just say that I'm going to be at the game.
Are you going to be at the game? Okay.
Yes, the one at the office.
Oh, so you're in Jamaica now?
I am. I've been here for a few weeks.
So Shatta was looking for you. She gave you a slip, my brethren. If they're 6 o'clock at England time, should they are Jamaica time? You man. May I tell you the robot?
Yeah, I've been in Jamaica for a couple of weeks now, so yeah, I'm still here.
So, well, it's well said, and we look forward to the riot and the well mash up big game. Cause look here, it don't really make no sense, guy. Mash up on the field, you know. Coach it mash up on the field, you know. That may I tell you, you know. That may I tell you.
Right. I know. So one thing that me still want to go to the match. I have to meet Crystal, honestly.
Likewise.
You can just invite her out. You don't need to go match and all these things.
Likewise.
You understand?
Generous time.
You can just invite her out, eat some jerk pork.
No, Rasta no eat pork.
Good thing you're not Ras.
All right, listen. I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna peace out.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
man.
peace out with
I
the
think the whole of
Take
it
Cataract,
peace
care,
you have a
out.
guys.
different
Yeah,
Thank you
man.
for
agenda.
having me.
The whole of it peace out.
Definitely. Yeah, man. We have to
Crystal.
close the
Don't
show, man.
have blood pressure.
I won't. Take care, Mr. Porter. Take care, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
All right.
coming,
Okay.
Crystal.
All
Bye
right.
Yeah,
bye.
yeah, man. So, gentlemen, I'm gonna close off, because I see the blood pressure thing. Then, I don't have nothing to do with that, So, look like you can go on based on what everybody has said, and me want to stay far from that. You understand?
No,
Yeah,
So,
man. And
coach, me want to see tomorrow night. Gonna come back in the triple treat. Hit the like button on the way out, please, and thank you.
yeah,
Come on,
man.
want to see how some man are gonna rate the player ratings. Dean, I hope you come back here and brave. Kind of time in your days, me give you some 3 or some 2 to you know, in a by player
no, I'm
rating.
gonna take whatever I get.
And
I'm
that
gonna
they
take
are
whatever.
telling you, and the right back. I will still have
Hey,
a
That's
right
fine.
back problem. We still have a
Cataract,
right back problem.
Hold on.
cataract.
Let
Since
us
we
give us.
shorted Malcolm, Dean Sewell, who else? Fabian Davis. Since
Uh,
that kind of set a right back, we've never really had a firm right back. It has been a perennial problem.
Hey, what position did Marshall play?
Granny,
Right back.
Center.
No,
He play right back some other times.
he
some
was
of
a
the
right
time
back,
he
right?
play right,
Sometimes.
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
he's a
Sometimes.
Tyrone
center half.
Marshall. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
He
All right.
was.
The primary,
Hold on.
the primary bottom is all right back, but as soon as the dynamic kind of shifted after the central defenders, them kind of start moving off.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dean. Starting with you. Let us give us your final thoughts, and we can just close off the show. Followed by Devon.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts in it. I don't even have one, to be honest. Me say all right in the thing. If we're not
Okay.
gonna play the game, if we're not gonna play the game with a little bit more purpose, and we can identify how we want to play the game as a team, it no matter the quality players we have, we are going to struggle. Right? And we can't play the game and hope for a result. We have to play ourselves to the result that we desire. And that's what has been happening throughout this entire 7 game stretch that we have. So, with that said, the positive is we leave the game with what we went there with, and we're not worse off in terms of our outcome. So, we have to now decide what we're going to do with the USA game, which is going to be an uphill task because the US man, them are run like an oil machine.
Then kick
You don't
off
want no
Mexico
parts of
face.
that.
Yeah, them are run like an oil machine. And
You
then
don't want no
afraid to
parts of that.
come forward. But again, that's a preview where we have got to take a look at.
Yeah, definitely. And Dean, big up yourself, man. Devon, quickly. Dean, don't leave it because I want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, just to add to what Dean said, I mean, this US team, yeah, very excited. And I think they want to play for them coach. And Jamaica need to change the way how we go about things. We too relaxed, too lethargic in the field. We play with no urgency. From defense going to offense, we slow. We have to have a little bit more energy inside the field. But it's our team, and we still keep on rallying behind them because you never know. It's still a long campaign, and somebody is going to falter down the road. And who knows? We can make up some points there. So US, I mean, you're a good team, but watch out. You're coming into the Lions Den, and we're gonna fight you down there.
All right, Sean.
Where should I begin? Campaign after campaign, World Cup campaign after World Cup campaign, we kind of hope and pray, keep our fingers crossed until we are mathematically eliminated. And we are going to do that again this time. I don't call for somebody losing their job lightly. I mean that's no fun and joke thing. I mean, a lot of time we depend, we attack all kind of things, and I just fun and joke, but when you call for a man for losing job, it's a serious thing. So with that being said, we should sack Theodore Whitmore right now before the USA game. I don't care if a Tuesday or tomorrow. Fire Theodore Whitmore right now. Let the chips fall where they may, and we start building for 2026. That don't mean we're giving up on this campaign. Building for 2026, meaning get some young players in the squad, start grooming them from now. So that would be the Tyreek McGee's and the whomever, so that come 2026 or come November 2025, we're not in the same predicament where we are searching for players. We're still blooding players in the team. We're still giving a player their first cap halfway through the World Cup qualified campaign. What kind of madness that? Listen, let's start building for 2026 right now.
All right, Sean. Qatar.
It's a dark day. We needed to get 3 points. Everybody said that, and we haven't. The analysis has been good. The panelists big up on themselves. It's Reggae Boyz for life, It's just the team that I chose, and sometimes it's very hard. But I won't have any other team. Still have to believe as long as it's mathematically possible that we get it right. But really and truly, though, there's just that moment of brilliance I'll take. It's one of the moments I'll take with me, the Mikel Antonio goal. I mean, it's just a moment of sheer class. Yeah, man, big up on yourself.
All right, big up to Qatar, big up to Sean, big up to Devon, Dean Swell, former Reggae Boy. Really appreciate you coming on, and I just tell you, say publicly that you're always welcome to be on this panel to talk football whenever you can. It would be good for you to join us. You know what I mean? Also, Sean, the other day, get some bottle cataract, and the man find a hit in the space of a game. The man find the hit, and the hit is the coach, the coach, the coach, the coach.
You
heard the whole night.
Something, coach. Not tell you something, but it's a cataract or original rubber dub song. You see that little youth, they were make that little microwave song. It coming like a 6. You need to figure join the 6. A little new song when I make when I have no lyrics in that song, I just a punchline. But the punchline bad.
Anyways, people, thank you very much for tuning in. We really appreciate you coming on. I see 1,000 people ready to watch along. I see about 600 ready to do the review. Trust me, big up on yourself. Really appreciate it. Of course, you know that we'll be back tonight. Is the first night of the Weekend TripleTreat. Tomorrow we continue. We're gonna dissect the thing and talk about it some more on the Weekend's TripleTreat. So big up yourself to everyone that stopped by. Definitely we appreciate it, and we'll see you until next time. Peace out.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.